their devotions that they did for More Than Conquerors a few months ago now, I think. So the idea was to teach all the boys and girls that go to there how to study the Bible, or how to study a topic out of the Bible, and they had about 6 weeks, I think it was, of each More Than Conquerors. There's a couple of lessons on it, and then they come back on the 6th one and gave us their devotions. It was very good. So this morning the boys are going to come up. Youngest to oldest is the plan. So there'll be Noel first. Ready? And I'll just open the service with prayer, and then if the boys want to pray before each of their lessons, they can too. Let's pray. Lord God, thank you for this morning that we're together. Lord, for this special Sunday school service, and just pray for the boys as they share what they've learned from your word with us, Lord, that it will be a blessing and just help their lives today. Thank you. Amen.
Okay, so we'll start this off then. We're going to turn to Genesis chapter 3. Now the serpent was more subtle than any other beast of the field which the Lord God had made. And he said unto the woman, Yea, hath God said, Ye shall not eat of every tree of the garden. And the woman said unto the serpent, We may eat of the fruit of the trees of the garden, but of the fruit of the tree which is in the midst of the garden, God hath said, Ye shall not eat of it, neither shall ye touch it, lest ye die. For God doth know that in the day ye eat therefore, then your eyes shall be opened, and ye shall be as gods, knowing good and evil. And when the woman saw that the tree was good for food, and that it was pleasant to the eyes, and a tree to be desired, and make one wise, she took of the fruit therefore, and did eat, and gave also unto her husband with her, and he did eat. So it says the serpent was subtle. Does anyone know what subtle means? Josh?
Tricky?
No. Yeah. Can mean like sly, can mean sneaky. But why did the serpent lie? He wanted Adam and Eve to disobey God. Because Satan hates God and he likes to sin against him. So what is a serpent? Ela. Yeah, it's like a snake. And there is something weird about the serpent. Does anyone know? Well, it can talk, and not much animals can talk. Well, no animals can talk, but this one could. In the Bible it says that Satan was a serpent, so maybe the devil was talking through the serpent. So now we know a bit about the serpent. Now let's see what God did to him. Now just stay in Genesis chapter 3 and drop down to verse 14. And the Lord God said unto the serpent, Because thou hast done this, thou art cursed above all cattle, and above every beast of the field. Upon thy belly shalt thou go, and dust shalt thou eat all the days of thy life. cursed the serpent and made him crawl on his belly. We see that Satan tempted Eve to disobey God. He made it so sin looked fun. Does anyone think sin looks fun? Well, maybe for us kids sometimes. And you can disobey quite easy too, and sometimes you can't. Adam and Eve disobeyed God and listened to Satan. God punished them and the serpent. We need to be careful that Satan doesn't trick us and that we always obey God. I want to finish with this verse, John chapter 14, verse 15. Love me, keep my commandments. So, if you love God, you should keep His commandments and never let Satan trick us. Thank you for listening.
Amen.
It's going to be about reading the Bible. My first verse is going to be Song of Solomon 38. Can you please read it? They all hold swords, being expert in war. Every man hath his sword upon his thigh, because of the fear and night. Now think of it like the swords are Bibles and the men are Christians, so it's like they're reading their Bible. Notice this bit, being expert in war. Now think of it like war is reading, which means they're expert in reading their Bible. So it's not just a quick read, but they think about what they just read. Please turn to Ephesians 6:17. And take the helmet of salvation and the sword of the Spirit, which is the word of God. So all of us should know this is talking about the armor of salvation. Look at this bit, sword of the Spirit, which is the word of God. So the Bible's like a sword, because the soldier wouldn't go to war without a sword, and a Christian wouldn't go soul winning without the Bible. Can you turn to Hebrews 4:12? The word of God is quick and powerful, and sharper than any two-edged sword, piercing even to the dividing asunder of the soul and spirit, and the joints and marrow, and is a discerner of the thoughts and intents of the heart. So this is saying the Bible is very powerful and can keep people saved and change lives, and that's why you should read the Bible. I'll read Daniel 6:10, but you don't need to go there. It says, Now when Daniel knew that the writing was signed, he went to his house, his windows being opened in his chamber toward Jerusalem. He kneeled upon his knees 3 times a day and prayed and gave thanks before his God as he did aforetime. So he prayed daily. The Bible should be no different. We should read the Bible daily. Now I'm going to read about the Church of Berea. They're a good example of reading the Bible. Please turn to Acts 17:11. These were more noble than those in Thessalonica, in that they received the word with all readiness of mind and searched the scriptures daily whether those things were so. So they got the Bible and they read it. It wasn't a quick read about what. It wasn't a quick read. They thought about what was in the Bible. God sent his Son to die on the cross, which made a way to go to heaven, and we all want to go to heaven. So he did what we wanted him to do. So in return, we do what he wants us to do.
Let's turn your Bibles to Joshua chapter 6, verses 10 to 16. It says, and Joshua had commanded the people, saying, "You shall not shout or make any noise with your voice, neither shall any word proceed out of your mouth until the day I bid you shout. Then shall you shout." So the ark of the Lord compassed the city, going about at once. And they came into the camp and lodged in the camp. And Joshua rose early in the morning, and the priests took up the ark of the Lord. And 7 priests bearing 7 trumpets of ram's horns before the ark of the Lord went on continually, and blew with the trumpets, and the armed men were before them. But the real Lord came after the ark of the Lord, the priests going on and blowing with the trumpets. And the second day they compassed the city once and returned to the camp. So they did it 6 days. And it came to pass on the 7th day that they rose early about the dawn of the day and compassed the city after the same manner 7 times. Only on that day they compassed the city 7 times. It came to pass at the 7th time, when the priests blew with the trumpets, Joshua said unto the people, "Shout, for the Lord hath given you the city." So, in verse 10, it says, and Joshua commanded the people, saying, "You shall not shout nor make any noise with your voice, neither shall any word proceed out of your mouth until the day I bid you shout." So there was 40,000 people. It says in Joshua 4 verses 13, that says, about 40,000 people prepared for war passed over before the Lord unto battle to the plains of Jericho. So that's 40,000 people, and God commanded them not to talk or not to make any noise. And that's pretty cool, because in a normal army there would be lots of shouting and talking to each other, and yeah. So that's pretty cool. And verses 11 says, so the ark of the Lord compassed the city, going about at once. And they came into the camp and lodged in the camp. So imagine there's a city quite a bit smaller than Christchurch, and that says, and yeah, there's a big wall around it, and then there's a big gate with guards making sure that like anybody just can't go into the city. Like Christchurch, anybody can just come in, and So the ark is a box that they carry while compassing the city, and it has the 10 Commandments in it, and compassing is just to surround something. So so they compass the city once. And verses 12 to 14 says, "And Joshua rose early in the morning, and the priests took up the ark of the Lord. And 7 priests bearing 7 trumpets and ram's horns blew before the ark of the Lord, went on continually and blew with their trumpets, and the armed men who went before them. But the reward came after the ark of the Lord, the priests going on and blowing with the trumpets. And the second day they compassed the city once, and returned into the camp, so they did 6 days." So Joshua and the priests woke up early, and they compassed the city once, and the priests were blowing the trumpets, they did it for 6 days, compassed the city once. In verse 15 and 16. "And it came to pass on the 7th day that they rose at the dawn of the day, and compassed the city the same manner 7 times. Only on that day they compassed the city 7 times. And it came to pass at the 7th time, when the priest blew with the trumpets, Joshua said unto the people, Shout, for the Lord hath given you the city." So on the 7th day they compassed the city 7 times. And can you guess why it's the 7th day and they did it 7 times? Josh. Because 7 is the number of completion. And then so after that, the walls fell down, and they won the city. And drop down to verse 20. That says, "So the people shouted when the priest blew with the trumpets, and it came to pass when the people heard the sound of the trumpet, and the people shouted with a great shout, that the wall fell down flat, so that the people went up into the city, and every man straight before him, and they took the city." So when the priest blew the trumpets, they shouted, and it says with a great shout, so it must have been really loud. And after that, the walls fell down. So Joshua obeyed God, and God knew what to do. And Joshua listened to God, and he didn't hesitate or anything. He just did it, and he was faithful. So go to Hebrews 11:30. Reading blank? It says, "By faith the walls of Jericho fell down after they were compassed about 7 days." So by faith they fell down, and Joshua was faithful to God, and he just followed what God commanded him to do. And that's what we need to do. If God asks us to do something, we shouldn't say, "Why me?" or anything like that. We should say, "Yes, Lord, let's do this."
Okay, so thanks boys, that was very good. So this morning we're going to be looking at Joseph and one of his characteristics, which is forgiveness. So go to Genesis chapter 37.
Sorry, which chapter?
37. So Genesis 37 and verses 13 and 14. But we won't read that just yet. Everyone pretty much knows the story around what happened with Joseph and everything like that. But we'll just have a quick run over what's happened. So at this time, Joseph's brothers are jealous because their father loves Joseph more than them. Don't know how they feel. Yep. And Joseph's been asked by his father to go find his brothers. So let's read verses 13 and 14 of Genesis 37. And Israel said unto Joseph, do not thy brethren feed the flock in Shechem? Come, and I will send thee unto them. And he said to him, Here I am. And he said to him, Go, I pray thee, see whether it be well with thy brethren, and well with the flocks, and bring me word again. So he sent him out of the vale of Hebron, and he came to Shechem. So he's been asked to go find his brothers. So then his brothers have seen him coming afar off and conspired against him to slay him, which you can read in verse 18 if you would like. So let's see what happens to Joseph now. So go to verses 27 of Genesis 37, and we'll read to verse 28 and then also verse 36. So Genesis 37, verse 27. Come, and let us sell him to the Ishmaelites, and let not our hand be upon him, for he is our brother and our flesh, and his brethren are content. Then they passed by Midianites, merchantmen, and they drew and lifted up Joseph out of the pit, and sold Joseph to the Ishmaelites for 20 pieces of silver, and they brought Joseph unto Egypt. And I'll go to drop down to verse 36. And the Midianites sold him into Egypt unto Potiphar, an officer of Pharaoh's, and a captain of the guard. So Joseph is now in Egypt after being sold by his brothers, which kind of sucks. And he's now with Potiphar, a servant of Potiphar's. So let's look at how Joseph was forgiven. So as we've already seen, he's been sold. Is it easy to forgive someone? Like, let's say someone breaks into your house and steals all your stuff. It would be kind of hard to forgive them, or someone kills one of your loved ones. It would be hard to forgive them. So now think of how Joseph was treated by his brothers. They thought about killing him, but instead sold him to the Ishmaelites, and then the Ishmaelites sold him to Potiphar. So now let's see what Joseph's reaction to all this is. So go to Genesis chapter 45 and verses 4 and 5. And Joseph said unto his brethren, Come near to me, I pray you. And they came near, and he said, I am Joseph your brother, whom you sold into Egypt. Now therefore, be not grieved, nor angry with yourselves, that ye sold me hither. For God did send me before you to preserve life. And now go to Genesis chapter 50. And verses 15. And when Joseph's brethren saw that their father was dead, they said, Joseph will peradventure hate us, and will certainly requite us all the evil which we did unto him. And now drop down to verses 19, and we'll read 19 to 21. And Joseph said unto them, Fear not, for am I in the place of God? But as for you, ye thought evil against me, but God meant it unto good, so to bring to pass, as it is this day, to save much people alive. Now therefore, fear ye not, I will nourish you and your little ones, and he comforted them and spake kindly unto them. So Joseph's reaction was one of forgiveness, as we see, in those verses that we just read. So even after what Joseph's brothers did to him, he was forgiven. Now let's look at another person in the Bible who is forgiven. So go to Luke chapter 22. verses 64 and 65. So before I read this, this is obviously talking about Jesus and how he was treated before he was crucified. So let's read Luke 22, verses 64 and 65. And when they had blindfolded him, they struck him on the face and asked him, saying, Prophecy, who is it that smote thee? And many other things blasphemously spake they against him. And now go to chapter 23 and verses 13 to 16. And Pilate, when he had called together the chief priests and the rulers, said unto them, Ye have brought this man unto me as one that perverteth the people. And behold, I have examined him before you, have found no fault in this man touching those things, wherefore ye accuse him. No, nor yet Herod, for I sent you to him, and lo, nothing worthy of death is done unto him. I will therefore chastise him and release him. And now drop down to verses 21 to 24. But they cried, saying, Crucify him, crucify him. And he said unto them the third time, What evil hath he done? I have found no cause of death in him. I will therefore chastise him and let him go. And they were instant with loud voices, requiring that he might be crucified. And the voices of them and of the chief priests prevailed. And Pilate gave sentence that it should be as they required. So Jesus is treated obviously bad. He's people want to crucify him even after what he's done to them, not for them. So now go to verses 34, and let's read this. Then said Jesus, Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do. And they parted his raiment and cast lots. So after all they did to Jesus here, we see his reaction is one of forgiveness. He asks his Father, which is God, to forgive him, to forgive them for what they've done, which is quite cool considering all the bad things that happened. So as we've seen, after what happened to Joseph, he was forgiving, and also Jesus, even after what they did to him, he still forgave them, and he still forgives us after what we do. So ask yourself, are you as forgiving as Joseph was, and how Jesus is? Maybe you're not. Maybe you are a forgiving person. Maybe you're not. But let's just see what the Bible says about forgiving. Should we be forgiving? So go to Matthew chapter 18, verses 21 to 22. Matthew 18, 21 to 22. Then came Peter to him and said, Lord, how oft shall my brother sin against thee, and I forgive him? Till 7 times? Jesus said unto him, I say not unto thee until 7 times, but until 70 times 7. So, Pastor, what is 70 times 7?
490.
Yes, good job.
Are you sure?
Yeah, sure. Okay. So now go to Ephesians chapter 4. Ephesians chapter 4 and verse 32. And that says, And be ye kind one to another, tender-hearted, forgiving one another, even as God for Christ's sake hath forgiven you. So in these couple of verses we've just read, it says that we should be forgiving. So like I said before, maybe you are a forgiving person, or maybe you're not a forgiving person, maybe it's not one of your strengths to forgive someone if they've done something bad to you. Even if you are one of these two people, if someone's bugging you or has done something to hurt you in some way, think of how Joseph was treated and how Jesus was treated, and what their reaction was to what happened to them. So don't be someone who holds a grudge, but someone who is forgiving no matter what someone else does to you.
questions for the boys?
No.
Eh? So I thought they did a great job and put some questions out to you to keep you on your toes as well. So good topics, boys. Thank you very much for that.